Hi class. I had a couple of questions today about the format of your ICD-10 CM code book. So I wanted to just do a quick video and to go over that with you. So you know that your code book starts out with your guidelines. So although you have your guidelines in your textbook, you also have your guidelines here in your ICD-10 code book. Then you'll see your pictures, the anatomy pictures. If you have a question about something, you can always refer back here to your pictures. And then you'll get your alphabetic index. Now you always want to start in your coding with your alphabetic index. And your main terms will be found in red in your alphabetic index. So like here are some main terms. And then your subterms found underneath there. So that's your alphabetic index to your index of diseases and injuries, all the way from A to Z. Next up in your book will be your neoplasm table. So when you have a neoplasm, here is the table where you will find the different parts, like your breast or your lung or whatever part you're looking up for a neoplasm. And then once we get into this, you'll be able to see your different columns and what they mean: malignant, benign, and so on. Next is your table of drugs and chemicals, where you'll find your different drugs and chemicals. And then again, it has a table, columns as well. So after that, you will find your external cause to injuries index. That would be like if there was a car accident or boiling water on a stove, just your index to help you find those codes. And then you will find your tabular list of diseases and injuries. So you're going to start coding, remember, with your alpha index. You'll get a code, and then you'll flip back to your tabular list to further define and find more out about that code. But let's look at the format of the index. So what is a chapter? You're going to find your chapters here in this index. And the very first chapter is, I'm going to try to get this in, your chapter 1, you'll find here, and it's certain infectious and parasitic diseases. And it covers codes A00 through B99. Now your second chapter is your neoplasm chapter. So that will be chapter 2. So I'm going to use this chapter to go through the different parts in the chapter. So chapter 2, and the title is neoplasm. So what is, and you can also find this on pages 39 and page 40 in your step-by-step textbook. So let's talk about a section. A section is a group of 3-digit categories that represent a group of conditions or related conditions. So malignant neoplasm, C00 through C96, is an example of a section. So malignant neoplasms are going to be found at C00 through C96. Now, C96 will be the end of that section. And the second section in this chapter would be in situ neoplasms starting at D00 through D09. So that is a section. Let's talk about what a category is. A category is a three digits, and it represents a single condition or a disease. So D00 would be a category. D01 would be a category. D02 would be a category. Notice there's just 3 characters in a category, and so on. So what is a subcategory? A subcategory is a 4 characters. It provides more information or specificity as compared to those 3 character codes. So D00.0 would be considered a subcategory. It's carcinoma in situ of the lip, oral cavity, and pharynx. If you look at D00, in situ of the oral cavity, esophagus, or stomach. So subcategory D00.0 is just a little bit more information about category D00. Another subcategory is D01.0. Notice there are 4 characters in a subcategory. Let's look at a subclassification. A subclassification is a 5 to 7 character code, and it adds even more detail. So subclassification would be D00.00, D00.01, D00.02, and you can see that it gives a little bit more information. For instance, D00.5 is carcinoma in situ of the hard palate. So it gives more information to the lip, oral cavity, and pharynx, and even more information to the oral cavity. So you can see how a subclassification. I hope that helps you understand a chapter, a category, a section, a subcategory, and subclassification.